Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Comic Book Wednesday. Comic book update. Yay! Haven't had one of these for a little while. Mainly because most of my funds have been going into DVDs and Blu-rays for Halloween. So, finally stopped by the comic store again, grabbed a bunch of stuff, got caught up on a bunch of titles, and picked up a really cool new trade paperback, very Halloween themed. So, let's check it all out. Comic book update time, today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so we'll start off with the singles here. We've got a whole bunch of single issues. So picked up issue number 10 of Mask Mobile Armored Strike Commands. This is actually the final issue. It says right in the back to be continued in First Strike, which of course is the, I think it's a 5-issue miniseries. Yeah, it doesn't say. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's a 5-issue miniseries because most of these miniseries have been. So I don't know if they're going to go the Micronauts route and continue Mask in a series of miniseries or what's going on. But we haven't really heard one way or the other here, so I'm just going to sort through these real quick. And there we go, and there we go, and okay, here we go. So, next up we have ROM, number 12. Yes. I'm kind of wondering what happened to Action Man. So remember Action Man was going to be part of the Hasbro universe? There was like a preview and everything, and then it just kind of disappeared, and I haven't heard hide nor hair of it ever since. I think they did like one issue, and then it just vanished. I have no idea, but anyway. ROM number 13. Very nice. Very nice. I'm going to I move this a little closer. There we go. I don't know how well it shows. I don't think it shows as well on camera, but this is actually over my arm, so it's kind of an awkward position. Then we got Round vs. Transformers Shining Armor number 3. I have no idea how many issues this is going to be. Guessing probably 5, like all the others. So there you go. Got Micronauts Wrath of Karza number 5. This is the final issue. See, 5 parts, huh? Yeah, very nice. I'm just kind of blowing through these quickly here. It's going to be a short update. Just kind of want to show you what I got and get on with my day. We got First Strike number 3. The local comic shop here just kind of seems to pick whichever alternate cover they get randomly, and they'll get just a bunch of that particular cover. So you may recall the first 2 issues had the... see if I can find the... yeah, I don't know how well you can see. But it was the second one? Yeah, it was the second one here with the sort of the segmented, horizontally segmented images. So for whatever reason, for issues 3 and 4, they didn't get that version. They got the sort of main version, which honestly I think is a more exciting cover anyway. But I'm not one of those, as I'm sure you've noticed, who's particularly anal about what alternate cover I get, especially with stuff like this. I mean, there's literally 8 different covers for every single one of these issues, and it's like, there's no way in hell I'm going to buy the same issue 8 times just to get the different covers. It's like, no, at some point I'll pick up the trade paperback, which reprints all of them. Then we got Scooby Apocalypse, number 18. I have to double check and see if I have number 17. I actually don't remember if I picked that one up. Anyway, there you go, number 18, very cool. Which brings us up to the 3rd set of 6, so I'm imagining that a 3rd volume of the trade paperbacks is probably coming out soon. Then we got Dastardly and Muttley, number 1. This is really strange. They're basically fighter pilots. There's Dastardly and his buddy, and then his dog are all out in a fighter pilot thing and doing maneuvers. And there's like this big explosion that sends up this cloud that turns everything kind of cartoony. It's weird. It's like a toon cloud or something, you know. And his partner ends up merging with his dog and becoming Muttley. So it's kind of strange. Yeah, see here in the second issue, you can see them running in terror from the I'm just going to call it the Toon Cloud. I haven't read this yet. I just kind of flipped through it to see what it was all about. I was like, oh, cool, Dastardly and Muttley. But again, like a very different take on these classic characters. Yeah, so pretty cool. It's a 6-issue limited series, so we'll check that out as it comes. And then, speaking of which, we also have the 2nd issue of Future Quest Presents Space Ghost. Again, freaking gorgeous. All, I don't know how well you can see here, but all painted artwork. This is just a beautiful, beautiful comic. And much like Future Quest, it actually features a lot of the other, you know, 60s and 70s characters. You got the Herculoids and stuff in here as well. So very, very cool stuff. If you enjoyed Future Quest, definitely pick up Space Ghost. You will love it. Then picked up the 3rd issue of the new reimagined Robotech. Again, this is another one where they just kind of randomly picked the cover. Like, does it show you? It shows somewhere in here what the alternate covers are. Yeah, here. Yeah, because on this side here. So they've got like the action figure ones, but then they got sort of just the general kind of normal cover, and then they got like a character profile cover. So the previous 2 issues also had character profile covers, but I got the sort of main, just sort of general action cover. So I don't know why they didn't get that one for issue number 3. But again, not particularly picky about the covers I get. I'm buying these for the story. So for those who missed my previous update, this is actually a revisiting of the original Robotech story. So it's kind of an updated retelling of it. So it's the same but different. It's quite interesting. So yeah, check it out if you're a fan of the original Robotech, like I am. And finally, picked up issue number 3. Is the final issue of Gem and the Holograms, the Infinite storyline. This is part 5 of Infinite. I can't find part 4. Part 4 is issue 2 of the Misfits. I don't know. Might have to see if they can special order it, or if all else fails, good old eBay, I'm sure, will accommodate me. But it's kind of annoying, because that is literally the only issue of Gem that I have missed in the entire run of the series since it started like 2.5 years ago. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. There is a trade paperback coming out, of course. They reprint them all pretty quick after the you know, batches of 5 or 6 are done. But yeah, I want to have the individual issues as well. I mean, I'll probably pick up the trades as well, because, as I've said on occasion, there are certain titles that you know, I want to sort of do my part to help succeed. I do draw the line at the multiple covers, though, but I will pick up at least the individual issues as they come out, and the trades as they come out. So for the trades for Gem, I've actually been buying them for Rose, who's been enjoying them and reading them. She's got up to volume 4 right now, so I've got a couple more to pick up for her at some point. Yeah, good stuff. And the trade paperback, this is the big one. So Marvel, as I may have mentioned on a previous update, you may recall I picked up the Monster of Frankenstein trade paperback recently. I've been reading it, by the way, and it's freaking awesome. I'm really enjoying it a lot. I may actually do a review of that for this Halloween season, because I'm getting pretty close to the end now. But in addition to that, there's a lot of other Marvel Monster titles that came out around the same time. They basically just did the sort of main 3 of the classic Universal monsters. You had Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, and Monster of Frankenstein. All came out around the same time. And they had a magazine-sized one called Monsters Unleashed. They had Legion of Monsters, and it all featured these monsters. Man-Thing was incorporated into that sort of batch as well. As you know, I also picked up the 2 volumes thus far of the original Bronze Age Man-Thing stuff. So this Halloween season, this October, Marvel is actually bringing out a bunch more of the classic monster stuff. Now, some of these have been available in omnibus form for a while. Like, for example, Tomb of Dracula and Werewolf by Night have complete omnibus editions that you can get. But as you know, I'm not a big fan of the omnibuses, just because they're so cumbersome to read. I mean, it's great to have 1,000 pages of comics in one massive tome, and the larger pages, of course, allow you to appreciate the artwork more. But they're such a pain to read. I mean, basically, you're supposed to sit at a table and spread them out and read them that way. But I like to lay in bed and read, or lay on the couch and read. I'm very casual in my reading posture. So anyway, the first one just came out, Werewolf by Night. Now, according to Amazon, Tomb of Dracula was supposed to come out this week. I don't know why they got the release dates reversed or something. So Tomb of Dracula is actually coming out next week, and then the following week there's a compilation of Marvel Horror, which is a whole bunch of the magazine stories compiled together. So pretty cool stuff. I've read very little of the Marvel Monster stuff. It was a little bit before my time, and for a long time there just weren't reprint editions available, or if they were those essential collections that were all black and white. No. Give me all that. Give me all that beautiful color, man. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. It's fantastic. So if you're wondering what issues are in here, we have Marvel Spotlight numbers 2 through 4 from 1971. That's the first appearances of Werewolf by Night. That's sort of the origin story. We got Werewolf by Night numbers 1 through 15. Marvel Team Up number 12 and Tomb of Dracula number 18. Those are both crossovers. Tomb of Dracula 18 basically crosses over with it. They meet up and duke it out. So there you go. So Werewolf by Night Volume 2 has already been put on the schedule. It's due to come out, I think, in January. So it's actually, or January, February. It's coming out pretty soon. Yeah, so next week, Tomb of Dracula. The week after, Marvel Horror. I will definitely be picking both of those up. Yeah, great stuff. And especially fun for me because I've never read a lot of these, so they're all new to me. I'd always seen them around, but I just never, never thought to grab them. I guess because of the lack of decent reprint editions or editions that just didn't really work for me, I just would have been tracking down the individual issues, and that would have been really freaking expensive. So, kind of glad I waited. So these are being done essentially like the Epic collections, where it's every appearance of that character, including crossovers, all reprinted in chronological story order. So sometimes it's not quite coinciding with publication date, but in terms of continuity, it makes a lot more sense. The Monster of Frankenstein one, for example, is like that, where it has the first 12 issues of the main comic, and then the end of the 12th issue refers to stories that occur in the Monsters Unleashed magazine. So then they have all the Monsters Unleashed stories and all the Legion of Monsters stories. Then they go into Giant-Sized Werewolf number 2, in which Werewolf meets up with the Frankenstein monster. And then finally it has the last 6 issues of, by then retitled Frankenstein's Monster, and a couple of Marvel team-up issues in which the Frankenstein monster met up with Spider-Man. Because, everybody meets up with Spider-Man at some point. Anyway, really looking forward to checking this one out as well. So, yeah, I really like how they've been doing those, because it really is, I think for the first time, the most definitive collections of stories featuring these characters. And they're all being done that way, where it's like wherever the stories fall into the continuity, that's where they drop them. So you get the maximum reading pleasure from them, because you're seeing all the stories as they are meant to be read, like in the actual order they're meant to be read, even if they weren't published that way. So that's awesome. So big kudos to Marvel for doing these fantastic collections. Obviously a lot of thought and planning went into them, and I mean, they look beautiful as well. Like the restored color is just fantastic in these, just amazing. Alrighty, that is it for this Comic Book Wednesday update. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. So there's probably going to be at least, I don't know, depending on what else I pick up, when I pick up Tomb of Dracula next week, I may do another update next week, or we might just hold off until the following week and do all of the, the last 2 trades and whatever else I pick up at the time. I'm sure I'll at least pick up a few singles. Anyway, so probably not going to be an update next week, but likely 2 weeks from now, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, I'm sure there will be plenty of other stuff coming your way on the channel to keep you entertained. In the meantime, alrighty, that is it from me to you for now, so big thanks to you for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. You guys and gals are awesome, and we'll see you next time. Until then, sayonara.